بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الحمد لله تعالى نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وسلم فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله تبارك وتعالى وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. I apologize profusely for the delay. There was some issues getting into the car park which resulted in me praying late and subsequently starting the lesson late, so I do ask for your forgiveness بإذن ربنا عز وجل. الحديث إن شاء الله تعالى الذي سنتكلم عنه اليوم هو الحديث الخامس عشر. The hadith that we're going to discuss today بإذن ربنا عز وجل is hadith number 15 from the book أربعين النووي by the Imam Abu Zakaria Yahya Al-Nawawi رحمه الله تعالى. عن أبي هريرة رضي الله تعالى عنه أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال: من كان يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر فليقل خيرا أو ليصمت ومن كان يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر فليكرم جاره ومن كان يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر فليكرم ضيفه رواه البخاري ومسلم. One more time guys, it's slightly faster. عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال: من كان يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر فليقل خيرا أو ليصمت ومن كان يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر فليكرم جاره ومن كان يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر فليكرم ضيفه رواه البخاري ومسلم. And the authority of Abu Huraira, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be pleased with him. The Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, whomsoever believes in Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala in the last day, then let him say that which is good or remain silent. And whomsoever believes in Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala in the last day, then let him honor his neighbor. And whomsoever believes in Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala and the last day, then let him honor his guest. This hadith is muttafaqun alayh. Al-Yamani. What does muttafaqun alayhi mean? ممتاز أخي حمزة. نعم. ما معنى متفق عليه? What does a hadith that is متفق عليه mean? جيد. شيخ بلال، ما معنى متفق عليه? It's definitely authentic. نعم. الشيخ at the back. No? تيسير. Gee. أخي, are you looking for the answer on your phone, طالب? No, this one here. تفضل أخي.
Agreed upon by the scholars.
What does that mean, agreed upon by the scholars? There's many scholars from the beginning of Al-Islam until the day and age that we're living in. Agreed upon by the scholars. When you said agreed upon, you are correct. Then when you said the scholars, you worried me.
The Salaf.
All of the Salaf agreed upon this hadith?
Most of them.
Most of them? Interesting. Sheikh Tariq, ما معنى متفق عليه? Oh, just one?
So far.
Alhamdulillah. ما معنى شيخ متفق عليه? What does متفق عليه mean? جيد. Sheikh Musa.
And the brother says agreed upon by the main two
Bukhari and Muslim, the Sanad and the chain.
Excellent, excellent. A hadith, ikhwani wa akhawati fillah, that is muttafaqun alayh means that Imam al-Bukhari and Imam Muslim, both of them collected this hadith in their Sahih. Make sense, ikhwan? Alright, so when you said agreed upon, I was with you. But then when you said by the scholars, I left you. Make sense? Okay, so muttafaqun alayhi means Imam al-Bukhari and Muslim both narrated this hadith. Sheikh, if Bukhari narrated a hadith in his Sahih, but Muslim didn't narrate this hadith in his Sahih, would we say that this hadith is Sahih? Sah. Would we say it's muttafaqun alayh? La. You understand, guys? And the same with Muslim, Sheikh Mustafa. If Muslim narrated a hadith in his Sahih, but Bukhari didn't mention this hadith in his Sahih, the hadith is Sahih, insha'Allah ta'ala, but we don't say muttafaqun alayhi. Jayyid. On the authority, did I translate the hadith already?
No.
Yes, I did indeed. Muttafaqun alayhi. Jayyid. طيب. Now, إخواني وأخواتي في الله, من أساليب تعظيم الشيء في القرآن, from the asalib, the ways, if you like, of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala magnifying the importance of something in the Quran, alright? He combines that thing with something else which is also important, alright? I'll say that one more time. When Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala wants us as Muslims, his servants, to know that something is important, beloved to Him or important to Him, then He would join that thing with something else which is also very, very important and beloved to Him. What do we benefit from this? We understand that the thing that He joined with the thing that's important, and that was a bit, the thing that He joined with the thing that's important, goes to show its importance. I'll give you an example. Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala يقول في القرآن وَقَضَى رَبُّكَ أَلَّا تَعْبُدُوا إِلَّا إِيَّاهُ وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ ماذا إخوان؟ إحسانا. وَقَضَى رَبُّكَ, and your Lord has decreed أَلَّا تَعْبُدُوا إِلَّا إِيَّاهُ, that you worship none but Him. وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا. What does that last bit mean? وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا. Mumtaz. Excellent. Be kind and dutiful to your parents. So everybody knows that Bir al-walidain or ihsan al-walidain is, or lil-walidain, is muhim. But the fact that Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, He mentioned ihsan lil-walidain, al-ihsanu lil-walidain, straight after He commanded with tawheed, which is the most important thing, amaran Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala bihi, goes to show the importance of al-ihsanu lil-walidain. Make sense, ikhwan? Alright? Young guys, you guys understand? Explain to me then. Somebody explain to me from the Shabab on my left hand side. Somebody explain in your own words, I don't even care if you get it wrong, what you understood from what I just mentioned. La, غيرك. I want Yemeni or one of my sheikhs over here or Taysir. One of you guys. Based upon what I just expressed or delivered, what do you understand? If you say nothing, it's my fault. That means I haven't done my job properly. If you guys haven't understood, then it's my problem, not yours. You want me to repeat it again? No problem. When Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, Yemeni, you listening, Habibi? MashaAllah. When Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala wants to tell us that something's important in the Quran, one of the one of the ways that Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala does this is by mentioning that thing with something else that's important. At-Tawheed. Yeah, Yemeni. Is At-Tawheed important or not important? Important. Sheikh Bilal, Tawheed, is it important or not important? Taysir. Okay. Muttafaqun alayh. Nahnu muttafaqun on this point. We're in agreement on this point. Tawheed is very important. And Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala mentioned being kind and dutiful to your parents just after He told us to worship Him and don't worship none other than Him. So this goes to show that being kind and dutiful to your parents, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned it in the same ayah, that this is very important in Al-Islam and it's beloved to Allah. Does that make sense now? Alright? And similarly, in this hadith that we just covered a little while ago, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he used this same type of method. What did he do in this hadith, akhi?
He mentioned three things.
Okay.
To the one that believes in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala,
Mm-hmm.
and the last day,
Mm-hmm.
and then you went to mention 3 things.
You should, so whoever believes in Allah Ta'ala on the last day, then that person should adopt 3 things.
You should adopt 3 things. Now,
Number 1,
number 1 is to say something good or keep silent.
excellent.
Number 2
Uh-huh.
is to be good to your neighbours.
Yep, excellent.
And number 3 is to honour the guest.
Mumtaz. So where is the link between what the Prophet ﷺ said and the ayah that I quoted? Who can tell me?
Whoever believes in Allah on the last day.
Excellent. That's the important thing. Allah has, the Prophet, peace be upon him, he has joined these 3 things that the brother just mentioned with what the brother just said there. Al-imanu billahi wal yawm al-akhir are from the most important things that a Muslim can do in his life. Are they the only 2 things that a Muslim, this is for you Akhi, are they the only 2 things that a Muslim has to believe in as it relates to the pillars of his Iman? Is it just sufficient to believe in Allah and the last day khalas?
No.
Mumtaz. Because we've got other ahadith that point to the fact that there are other things that the Muslim has to believe in. We have to believe in the books of Allah Ta'ala that he sent down with his angels. We have to believe in the Prophet. Alright? We have to believe in al-qadr, khayrihi wa sharrihi. And it's so important, ikhwani, wa akhawati fillah, that when we see a hadith, right, an authentic hadith, you don't just take one hadith and that's it, khalas, this is the only hadith I'm going by. Alright, and sticking by it. Because if that was the case, it could be said that all we have to do is believe in Allah Ta'ala and the last day. But we know that's not true. Why? Because we have other ahadith. So Ahl Sunnah, the people of the Sunnah, they don't only take one hadith as it relates to a particular issue. You have to combine all of the authentic ahadith and all of the ayat on a particular issue so that you can make a tasawwur of the mas'ala. You can have a well-grounded understanding of the mas'ala at hand. So important. So important. Sometimes as well in the deen, you might have a hadith and then you might have another that's authentic, and then you might have another hadith that is also authentic, and there seems to be some apparent contradiction between the 2 to the layman. I look at hadith A and I look at hadith B, and I as a layman see a contradiction. But then when you go back to the shurahat of the ulama, the explanations of the ulama, they will give you what's called imkan al-jam', where you can
Reconcile between them.
Mumtaz. Excellent. That's exactly what I was looking for. Where there's a potential that you can reconcile between these 2 ahadith, which goes to show that there's no contradiction between the 2. This one's correct and also this one is correct, and this is how it's supposed to be understood. My point being, ikhwan wa akhawati fillah, in conclusion, that we should always make jama' of all the ahadith in a particular mas'ala before you make up your mind about a particular hadith, or just follow it verbatim as the wording suggests. Any questions, ikhwani? La? Tfaddal ya Mustafa.
Say, for example, if you're coming up from your house, yeah, and like your neighbor is shaking about police and he's telling you, I want to go inside your house, yeah, would you still be good to him and let him inside your house?
I'm going to repeat the question just to make sure I understood what you said, right? You said if you come out your house and your neighbors...
Are you talking about to do a prayer?
Let me repeat the question just to make sure I understood, yeah? Jazakallah khair.
Okay.
So you come out your house and you see your neighbor in a state, and the neighbor asks to come into your house because they're scared or they're frightened about something. Would you let them in?
From the police and like and there's a door shaking and you was trying to the prayer, are you still gonna be good for them and let them inside your house?
Allah knows best, akhi. Every situation is unique, but generally speaking, as the hadith mentions, you should be good and dutiful to your neighbor. Now, I was going to get to this a little bit later on, but now that you mentioned it, we might as well discuss it. As it relates to being kind and dutiful to your neighbor, number one, we have to understand what is considered to be a neighbor in Al-Islam. Is your neighbor only the person that lives to the left and to the right of you? Or is it 2 doors down, 3 doors down, 5 doors down, 2 roads down? You understand? That's the first thing. And secondly, neighbors differ. Alright? Everybody's neighbors differ in terms of their status. You might live next to rich neighbors. I might live next to poor neighbors. Taysir might live next to mediocre neighbors. So me having al-ikram, honoring my neighbors, will be different to perhaps what's expected in our culture or what in our custom here in the UK to what's with your neighbors, your rich neighbors, and likewise your middle class neighbors. You understand? It could be that me having ikram to my neighbor who's poor is by just giving them a loaf of bread. It could be to your neighbors just by greeting your neighbors with a smile and sitting down asking how they are. And with your neighbors it might be something completely different. So what the ulama, or what Sheikh Muhammad mentions, that as it relates to having or being kind and dutiful or being respectful and honouring your neighbors, it differs from neighbor to neighbor and it returns back to the custom of the people. Alright? Sometimes it's a custom. Imagine this, ikhwan. It's a custom in Saudi that when you meet somebody on the street, right, it could be after salah or whatever the situation may be, you talk, and then when you finish, one of the people say, Tafaddal ma'ana, which means come with me to my home. The person doesn't mean come to my home, but he just says it because it's a custom. And sometimes it could be rude if you say, Na'am tayyib, I'll come with you. You with me? It could be very, very rude in the culture. But it's the culture that they do it. Why do they do it if they don't mean it? Allah knows best. I'm not saying all Arabs do it, but it's the culture. Alright guys, it's the culture. And I heard this from Arabs themselves. If you accept, it's just like, I suppose in the UK, the nearest equivalent is if when we say to each other,
Calling the bluff.
kinda, but like if I say to you, like if you need anything, call me. And I don't really mean that at all. I just say it, alright? Or anything you need, just let me know. You say, well, actually, I need 50 pounds. I ain't even got that. You with me? It's just a custom that we have in the UK. But if you know that somebody is just saying that out of a custom, then don't put that person in a situation that they're going to be embarrassed. Nah, tafadhal, akhi.
According to what the brother was saying,
Which, this brother here?
Yeah,
Mustafa? No.
Mustafa was saying about the neighbor and whether you should let him in if he's like being chased by the police. Technically, isn't it our duties towards Allah are first before the duty towards the neighbor? So if you're going to aid someone and someone doing something that Allah will not be pleased with, should you just start turning that neighbor away?
The reason I never went into any detail about that question because it seems like it was a specific situation to Mustafa. Maybe he left his house and it happened to him, so he wants to get like some type of religious verdict. I don't know as to why the neighbor was running away. Was he the criminal and the police were chasing him such that you were aiding a criminal? Or was he innocent and he was running for another reason, the police were chasing him and he's innocent? I don't know, and I didn't want to get into it, but of course, bila shak, our duty is to Allah. But you reminded me of a mas'ala which is completely different, but I just feel compelled to mention it now, and that is this. If you guys are walking to the masjid, alright, we're talking about your duty to Allah. This is what, you flicked a switch in my head when you said duty to Allah. You walk into the masjid, guys, this is a question open to the floor. And as you walk into the masjid, you get to the end of the road and you see a horrendous car accident. One of another Muslim gets knocked down by a car. But you know that the salah, the iqamah is going to happen in literally 30 seconds. As-salah wajiba, sah? As-salatu fil masjid wajiba. Hey, assalamu alaikum, princess. Inshallah. What do? Do you put Allah's right and go and pray in the masjid before the right of helping your Muslim brother? Or do you put the right of your brother in this instance before the right of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala? Hal is-su'al wadih? Is the question clear? You guys understand? I want to hear from the young shabab. What would you guys do? See somebody knocked down? But you know you got to pray because if you don't go, you're going to miss the salah and jama'ah. What do you do? You help? So you put the right of the human before the right of Allah? Allah? Allahu Akbar. You just ruined the rest of my speech. May Allah bless you. Barakallahu fi. You see, as it relates to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's right over his creation, it's never ever to be jeopardized. However, in the situation I gave you, specific situation, if you leave that person just smashed lying in the road without any help or assistance, there's a possibility that person could die. You don't get a chance to say, give me 10 minutes, I'm going to be right back. Just stay where you are, I'm going to be right back in 10 minutes. Hoping that he's just going to be alive, you go and pray and then come back. He could have died in that time. And from the goals and the objectives of the Sharia is what? Preserve life. And in this situation, again, the specific example I gave, you could help that person potentially, bi-idhnillahi ta'ala, save his life, and you still got, like the Sheikh said, enough time to pray. You've got enough time to pray. Yeah, like I said, it had nothing to do with what we was discussing, but when you said, the duty to Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala. You reminded me of that. Now, further.
Like, enough time to, so sometimes like Fajr time is short, Maghrib time is short, and if hypothetically these things happens, and if you don't have enough time, then you have to go to the hospital, you have to take a lot of responsibilities to fill the forms and all those things. Then how are we supposed to deal with those things?
In a case where you're going to miss the salah, if you
within
don't...
the time, you miss the time.
Alright, in a situation where it's like a salah like Maghrib, Al-Dhuhr, or Al-Asr, or Al-Maghrib, or Al-Isha, then you can join. La bas, no problem. You know, you can join because there's a necessity that necessitated that you didn't pray on time. Jade. The issue is not for Fajr, because Fajr is the only salah that we don't have the concession to join. I'm just gonna, this ain't a fatwa now. This is just what I would do if I was walking to Fajr and I had like literally catch the salah in its time or help somebody that's gonna die. I would help somebody that's gonna die. I would help somebody that's gonna die. Because that's not saying I'm putting this person's right before Allah. Allah also has commanded me to, you know, with the preservation of life. Whoever saves a single soul, it's like he saved the whole of humanity. And we have to look at what is the reason that I missed the salah, or was I negligent and I waited for the time nearly to go out, then I tried to run to the masjid and I got myself, maybe I'll be sinful for that, for being negligent, like we covered it a few lessons ago. I think that was for the Prophet's prayer described. But in a situation, say somebody legitimately woke up late, but they run into the masjid because they wanted to pray in the masjid and they saw this situation, then bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not going to hold him accountable for that, and Allah tabarak wa ta'ala knows best. Tafadhal akhi.
Go off the subject.
No
If you
problem.
come to a dars, and you have a pages title masjid now, but there's listeners on. Is it wajib to pray them title masjid or join the dars?
Wallahi, su'al mumtaz, la adri al-jawab. But all this time you were standing there, you probably could have just prayed already and come and join us. Allah. You're funny anyway. Now.
So it's a sound that the same small the situation is small different than what we just discussed. But let's say somebody else in that scenario is ready to help, and let's say there's a kafirs, they're ready to pick him up and put in the hospital.
You say kafirs?
I mean non-believers are
Okay,
there,
okay.
and
No, I just want to know what you said. I didn't hear you.
they're ready to help him, take him to hospital, and he's just so they're helping. So do you have to get involved, or you just come in?
No, not at all. If there's sufficient help, then go pray.
You pray.
Yeah, bila shak. Unless you play a crucial role in that person.
Yeah.
And you're a doctor, for example.
Yeah.
You stay, inshallah ta'ala. Tayyib. Any more questions before we continue? Also, from the benefits that can be extracted from this tremendous hadith is the fact that, as the Arabs say, as-sakitu la yunsabu lahu qawlun. As-sakitu la yunsabu lahu qawlun. Qawlun. The one that's quiet or remains silent, then it's not possible for anybody to attribute to this person a statement. I heard so-and-so say such and such. How can you say that? You heard Ismail say such and such, and Ismail was sakit. Sakit meaning quiet. Do you understand? The Arabs have been saying that sakit, la yunsabu lahu qawl. Alright? But does that mean now, in every single situation, that we now as Muslims should be silent? Every time we are in the gathering, we're just silent. If I don't have anything good to say at all, I'm just silent. What do you guys think?
No, because you may have something to say that contradicts someone, and it's not necessarily something good to say, but it will benefit people.
So if it will benefit, then that means there's khair in that kalam.
Yeah, but what you're saying is not good, but it will benefit people.
Give me an example.
I was trying to think of one.
Keep it, think, and then I'll come back to you. Now.
No, I think when it's to remain silent, it's not literally remain silent. It's just don't be negative. Don't say speech that's going to involve sin, munkar, just negative speech.
Lovely, excellent.
It's in the Hadith when there was a woman who refused to speak for a whole day, and the Prophet Muhammad told her to speak up.
So what's the angle of your proof there?
It's not good to remain silent for too long, especially without remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Okay, interesting. Anybody else? Fadl.
What was the question?
Can anybody remind Mustafa of the question?
How much to remain silent?
Why we remain silent?
No, does it mean that we should remain silent like all the time? Because the Prophet ﷺ said in the Hadith, if you believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the last day, or whomsoever believes in Allah and the last day, then let him say that which is khair, or remain silent. So if I have nothing of what's considered to be khair, should I just not say nothing?
No, you can give a joke.
You can give a joke.
Yeah, you can give a joke like, because made the brothers laugh and that. It's
Okay.
sadaqah, innit? It's like sadaqah. So sometimes, that's what I do. Start like on the phone, innit? Like when I'm bored and that, I pull out a joke on WhatsApp and that.
Okay.
So
May Allah reward you khair, akhi.
inshallah.
I was going to say that maybe in situations where the consequences will only be purely negative, then don't say anything. Like if you're going to warn a brother about, maybe he's going to do business with another brother, and this brother's like, he's well known for doing bad things and this kind of stuff. So if you talk ill of that other brother, it is negative. However, you will be saving the one you're talking to, the other brother you're talking to, you'll be saving him from loss or anything.
That's excellent, akhi. Very, very good input. But that would also be considered as a form of khair, because to warn your Muslim brother about the evil of another brother, or to warn somebody that's going to get married about the evil of the brother, or to warn a sister about the evil of the brother, or to warn the brother about the evil of the sister, that wouldn't be considered al-ghiba or negative. Whilst I understand what you're saying, on the face of it, it does seem negative, but it's considered khair because you're saving that person from a potential catastrophe. And how many times do we hear stories of brothers getting married to sisters and they are whatless? They're whatless. And people knew about this person's character. His friends knew about his character, but they remained silent. They remained silent. You with me?
So say if someone did like a drawing.
A drawing.
A drawing.
A drawing, okay.
And you say the drawing is terrible, but then that makes him do another one that's a lot better.
So basically, this is what we're getting at here is you got speech that is good and you got speech that is evil. Alayhi salam to that. And then you've got another type of speech which is neither evil, neither is it khair per se, and it's permissible to speak about these things. Like what you said here. It depends, again, every situation is unique. It depends why you're telling that person that drawing's not good, or whatever the case may be. But the point being here, speech isn't only either good or it's bad. There is other types of speech that we engage in a day-to-day basis, which is there's no problem with it. The issue is now, will that speech lead to something that is potentially displeasing to Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala? You with me? Now, we're going to learn later on, bi'idhnillah ta'ala, Sheikh Muhammad, he separates or categorizes speech into three. He says speech that's khair, if you guys can remember this, speech that's khair, speech that is shar, and also speech which is considered al-laghu. Al-laghu, alright? Lam, ghain, wow. Al-laghu. Now when you go back to the kitab of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, I give you guys a benefit, right? You want to look up a word in the Quran, and you don't know how am I going to find this word. What does Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala say about this particular word? Al-laghu fil Quran. There's a tremendous website called Quran.com. Quran.com, amazing. It looks a bit like Google. You got the search bar. You just type in the word Lam, Ghain, Wow, and it will show you all of the times that word came in the Quran in its different manifestations. Whether it came as a noun, whether it came as a verb, past or present, for the most part. You with me? So I did that. I wanted to go back and find out, because from my understanding, the word al-laghu was negative. The word al-laghu was negative, and oftentimes is translated as ill speech, idle speech. Okay, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks about al-laghu in the Quran negatively. Kama qala tabaraka wa ta'ala, he says, يَتَنَازَعُونَ فِيهَا كَأْسًا لَا لَغْوًا فِيهَا وَلَا تَأْثِيمٌ. Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala is describing the people of Jannah, and he says, يَتَنَازَعُونَ fiha, i.e. they will exchange in it, i.e. in the Jannah, a cup of wine, wherein results no ill speech or no commission of sin. And the shahid here is when Allah Ta'ala says, La laghwun. And the translation of laghwun here is ill speech. In another ayah, Allah Ta'ala يقول وَالَّذِينَ لَا يَشْهَدُونَ الزُّورَ وَإِذَا مَرُّوا بِاللَّغْوِ مَرُّوا كِرَامًا. Allah Ta'ala says again in another ayah in the Quran, and they are those who do not testify to falsehood when they pass by al-laghu, ill speech. They pass by with dignity. So we've got a couple of ayat in the Quran that clearly indicate that al-laghu is negative, which is obviously will come under shar from kalam. But that's not always the case in the language. There is a type of laghu which is neither khayr nor is shar. Alright? La yadurru wa la yanfa'. It doesn't harm, neither does it benefit. So obviously in such a case, it's best to remain silent about it. Okay? Mathalan, I go to Abdul Rahim, Akhi, did you see the football last night? Brr, we're talking. It's not haram, we're not talking about anything halal per se. It's just laghu. La yanfa' wa la yadur. Unless we... What's so funny, Akhi?
It was Akhi, I've always read that Akhi, like, so,
You've always read what?
Like, so when I see someone like just start like, you know what happened yesterday, like start talking like laghu.
That's cool. As long as you don't go over bounds, this is what I'm trying to say. As long as you don't go over bounds in it, then bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, that's okay. But as the Shaykh says in the book, al-afdal, it is better that you and yaskutu anhu, that you remain silent. Alright? It's better that you remain silent. Doesn't mean that you're sinned if you don't, but it's better. And these are all parts of trying to improve our character. I don't want anybody that's listening today, whether you're here or online, to be like, oh, you know, that's what I do. Oftentimes, I'm always saying about, oh, did you see this? Did you see that? Did you? Don't think that you're a bad person. Everybody is on a spiritual journey, and everybody's at different stages of that journey. We always aspire to be better, but don't start looking down at yourself in such a negative way or in such a negative light that you start to feel I'm no good. Alright, because the moment you start to think like that, you start to go on a slippery slope down into depression. And once you get down there, it's difficult to get out. Have husnul dhan of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. And if you don't feel that you're up to scratch, ask Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala to make a situation easy. And you keep striving. You keep striving. You know? You hang around people that are going to remind you of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. And don't get involved in speech like that. Ikhwani, be real with me. When we're around certain people, myself included, if I'm around certain brothers that I'm ultra comfortable with, you might see me sit like this. You might see me not pay attention to how my phobes, I might just be relaxed and chilled. I might even say the odd slang word here or there to my friend that I've known for donkey's years. Alright, we might even start engaging in a level. Did you see the football match? Or did you hear what happened on the news the other day? But when I'm around certain other people, I'll carry myself in a particular way. And the reality is, this is how many of us are. Depending on who we are, will dictate how we sometimes react. Some people worse than others. So if you feel that you're somebody that's quite excessive in a particular type of level, then try to hang around with brothers that you know when you're around them, you don't act like that. Because you know it won't be accepted. Do you understand? Because they don't get down like that. Does that make sense, Ikhwan? Or am I just talking?
But what does laghu mean?
The translation, like I said, it's been translated in the Quran in various different ayat as ill speech or idle speech, vain talk.
Or pain.
Vain talk. Vain talk. You're talking about things there's no benefit in it.
No benefit, okay.
And then if anything, shukran jazeelan akhi habib. If anything, there could be a particular type of harm. But the laghu that we said that is permissible, I don't know how to translate that in English. But again, it's not even important. Non-beneficial speech, perhaps, yeah. I like that. Can
you repeat that, what you just said about how you're different between different people and the thing you said after that?
Yeah, the thing I said after that is that sometimes we know, for example, Talib. How old are you? 17. I'm pretty sure, not to put you on smash, akhi, but I'm pretty sure when you're with your other 17-year-old friends for a day, if you spend a day with them, the conversation that you will have with them will be significantly different if you spent 24 hours with me, Abu Sumayya and Abdul Rahim. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely.
Bila shak. And if I spent a day with مثلا Sheikh Salih Al-Fawzan or somebody like that, Sheikh Tahir White or anybody like that. That's a good example actually, because I spent a lot of time with Tahir. The things that I would speak about with Tahir and how I would carry myself with him, due to the respect that I have and the fact that he's older than me, would be different than if I was hanging around with somebody that's like 30, 31, 32, or Abu Sumayya. We might get involved in al-laghu with the gym. We took when we used to go to the gym in the back, we used to have laghu. You know, we have the competition who can lift the most. He's trying to out-talk me and I'm trying to out-talk him. Are we getting sinned for what we were saying? No, we weren't saying anything haram. Were we getting rewarded for what we were saying? No. Were we getting rewarded? No, we wasn't saying anything. We weren't praising Allah. We were just involved in al-laghu. But I would never ever carry myself in front of Sheikh Fawzan with that trash talk like I would with Abu Sumayya. Does that make sense, Ikhwan? So different people, when you're around different people, it causes you to act a different way, a certain way. That's what I was trying to drill home.
So you weren't saying that you shouldn't do that?
Not necessarily. I'm not saying that the conversation you would have with your 7-year-old or 8-year-old friends will be haram, but I'm just saying that what you would speak about. Like for example, there might have been a fight yesterday in your school, or you might have seen a fight on the road. You say, Bridget, did you see that? That guy got thumped in his face. That's it. You might just talk with your friends like that. But when you're around me, you might not even bring it up. Because you find, well, Ismail don't want to know about that. Abdurrahim don't want to hear about that. Abu Samay will tell me, I don't want to speak. You hear me? That's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. People are at different levels.
But it's okay to do that, that's what I'm asking.
I mean, I don't know about the thumping in the face business, but just generally speaking,
Yeah.
things that's just level. Just like there's no benefit, but then there's no haram, there's no problem. But I'm just saying for Mustafa's situation, because he was saying he's somebody that does this often. So I'm saying if you feel like that, 1 second, Ahad Habib, then try to change your situation by hanging around with people that you know won't accept that. That's what I'm saying. Akhi, do you mind if I just quickly read a little bit more, then we go back to the questions?
Yeah.
Do you mind?
Yeah.
Don't forget what you're going to say, yeah? Do you want to write it down?
No.
Sure. بارك الله فيكم. طيب الحديث يدل this hadith that we just read, hadith Abu Huraira or hadith أبي هريرة رضي الله تعالى عنه, يدل على وجوب السكوت إلا في الخير كما دل عليه الحديث.
So, just wanted to know what was shar? You said that.
Shar means evil.
Oh, that's evil.
Evil, yeah. Khair, good. Shar, evil, لغو. بارك الله فيك يا أخي الكريم. نعم. الحديث يدل على وجوب السكوت إلا في الخير كما دل عليه. The hadith indicates that it's an obligation to remain silent except in those things which are considered khayr. How did I extract that? I said الحديث يدل على وجوب. That's for Abu Sumayya actually. قلت الحديث. حفظت الحديث؟ ممتاز. اقرأ الحديث. قال عليه الصلاة والسلام
من كان يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر
آخر
فليأكل خيرا
فليأكل
لا
فليأكل
فيقول
ليس فليأكل يا أخي ما في أحد يأكل هنا فليقل يأكل قم بقى يأكل شوف there's a difference إخواني between يقول فليقول and فليقل. فليقول, then he said. Alright? أي يقول, he said. لكن فليقل is the أمر. أيضا ليس يأكل يا أخي. اترك الأكل. أنت جوعان؟ اترك الأكل أخي. فليقل is the أمر. فليقل. ف لام وش هذا بود here فا لام فل يا قاف لام فليقل. We're going to walk in here, don't worry. أكمل.
Plug your Arabic lesson. فيقول خير.
Anyone else to sign up, give me a name and number after the dance, huh?
فيقول خير أو ليصمت.
ممتاز.
ومن كان يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر
فليكرم
جاره.
ممتاز. فمن كان
يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر
فليكرم
جاره.
جاره. رواه من؟ ممتاز. طيب. So my question to you, أخي, was how is what I previously mentioned linked to the hadith? I said wujub al-sukut, the obligation of being quiet. Al-hadith yadullu ala wujub al-sukut.
Because
Wujub al-sukut.
because staying quiet, you will refrain from language and sinful talking.
Your truth is right. But where in the hadith indicates that it's an obligation? I want you to tell me when the Prophet when
Let's
said
say
X, Y,
if you
Z.
believe in Allah on the last day,
Uh-huh.
then if you don't say good, keep quiet. It's an order to keep quiet.
Where's the order? That's what I want to ask.
ليصمت. فيأكل خير. فيأكل خير.
يأكل again, أخي. خلاص. I beg somebody buy him something to eat so he can just talk of this argument.
Please.
فليقل. I'm going to come back to you, أخي. I'm not letting you off this easy. تفضل أخي.
I don't know the technical terms in Arabic.
Uh-huh.
When he mentions من يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر,
Uh-huh.
then he says فليقل.
Excellent.
The fa is linking the prerequisite to doing the action.
That's fantastic, Akhi. That's
the order.
Wallahi, that's the first thing. I don't know if it's the first thing I should say. Yeah, it's the first thing that the Sheikh mentions here, that point there, which is different to what I'm asking Abu Sumayya. But basically, what the Sheikh says here, this is what we call in Arabic jumla shartiyya. It's a conditional sentence. Whomsoever believes in Allah whomsoever believes in Allah on the last day, the answer to this is in the second part. This is what you should do. And it's, in Arabic, it's always joined with the fa. It's always joined with the fa. Alright, so من كان يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر هذه جملة شرطية. This is the conditional, I forget what they say in English now, the conditional phrase or conditional part. The answer is fa. It's linked with the fa. But that's not the answer that I was looking from Sheikh Abu Sumayya. I called you a Sheikh now, you have to come with this jawab.
You didn't say Rahim Allah. So repeat the question.
Okay. I said, guys, pay attention, Sheikh Bilal. I might be coming for you next. I said that this hadith on the authority of Abu Huraira indicates that it's obligatory to remain silent. And then I said, somebody tell me in the hadith where that's a proof for that.
Because to believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the last day is obligatory. So because he said that act there, which is obligatory upon all Muslims, then he's indicating that this is also obligatory.
That's Jameel Jiddan. Jameel Jiddan. I wasn't thinking about that, but that's nice. MashaAllah. Allah yahfadak wa rahimak. See? I changed it up, akhi. Said rahimak. Nah.
Just saying, it's giving you an option. ليقول خير أو ليصمت. Otherwise,
So because the Prophet ﷺ gave us an option, it means that it's an obligation?
No, because he said whoever believes in Allah on the last day. It's an amr, isn't it? When he's saying
it isn't amr, but where is the amr?
ليقول.
Excellent. Excellent. That's the amr. My point is this. In Arabic, the command of the verb qala, which is he said, is qul. قل هو الله أحد صح؟ قل هل يستوي الذين يعلموا والذين لا يعلموا كما قال تبارك وتعالى في القرآن. Say He is Allah, the one. In another verse, Allah تبارك وتعالى يقول قل هل يستوي الذين يعلموا والذين لا يعلمون. Say, are those who know equal to those who don't know? The point being that the command form of the verb قال is قل. قال, he said. قلت, I said. قلت, you said. قالت, she said. Ya Aba Samayya, قل. I'm telling him to say. That's the command form, and we all know it. We all memorize Surah Al-Ikhlas, alright? Well, at least I hope we have. But in this hadith, this is why it's so important. I'm going to plug it now, akhi. This is why it's so important to study Arabic. Alright? Because by understanding the Arabic, we understand this is an obligation. This is an obligation. By reading the English, we don't necessarily get that meaning. Anybody wants to study Arabic, name, number, email after the class, yeah? I'm being serious. I sent out the emails last week, and some emails bounced back. Some emails and some numbers, they wrote them down incorrect. Who got an email from me and a text message? I know you did. I texted everybody on the number. Maybe somebody wrote their details down incorrectly. But the point being is here, When we look at the hadith, the Prophet peace be upon him says, فَلْيَقُلْ. He doesn't say, قُل. This goes to show that the verb, which can be used as a command in the Arabic language, isn't of only one type. You can see it come in a different form. And that is in the present tense with the lam al-amr attached to it. You got the fa, then that lam after the fa in the hadith, if anybody's got the Arabic, they can check it. That is the lam of the command. Alright? Lam of command. So important. بِإِذْنِ رَبِّنَا عَزَّ وَجَلَّ. And as it relates to the point that I previously mentioned, the sakitu la yunsabu lahu qawl, the one that remains quiet, isn't possible to have something attributed to him because he didn't say. How many people, wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, how many people have regretted a statement that they made as soon as that statement left their lips? Maybe your wife annoyed you and you said something to her that, I hate your cooking, I've never liked your cooking. You just wanted to hurt her because she hurt you. And then after that, you regretted it. Or it could be something serious, where you say something to somebody, and once you said that word, as the Arabs say, wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh, as the Arabs say, before you utter a statement, you're in control of that statement. The moment that statement leaves your mouth, you're no longer in control of that statement. They also, one of my sheikhs said, they compare it to a woman that's pregnant. Holding in the word, they compare it to a woman that's pregnant. When that baby is in the belly of the mother, she's somewhat in control of that situation. The moment the baby comes out, she's no longer in control. Alright? So we have to be also careful as it relates to the statements that we allow to come out our mouths. Because you can apologize, but you can never ever take something back, because that statement's always going to be said. Even if the person that you offended forgives you, they will always remember, you said that to me one day. And I'm specifically speaking to the young children. By extension, obviously the oldest as well, but the young kids. Be very careful, Sheikh Bilal, as it relates to, in your life, the words you say to people, because you never ever know the impact that those statements can have on individuals. And even the parents, I'll come to you, Ikhwan, in a minute. Even the parents. We have to also be careful how we address and how we speak to our children. Because when we speak to our kids who are at such, look at the child now, so innocent. The children are so innocent right now. The parents have so much control over that child. If, la qadar Allah, Abu Sumayya raised up his children every day, you're terrible, you're whatless, you never do nothing right, go to your room, don't want to see you, don't speak to me. If he's done this for 15 years, what do you think that child's going to be like by the time it's 15, 16? Being serious now. What do you guys think the child's going to be like?
Won't care about his parents.
Won't care about his parents. What else? I'm talking about in terms of his confidence, in terms of his character. Low self-esteem. Low self-esteem. His confidence is going to be shattered. He's going to think he's no good and worthless, because those two people that are supposed to love him the most in the world didn't give him what he needed. The opposite is true. If Abu Sumayya raises up his children, let's speak about his daughter. Every day he says, Princess, you're beautiful, you're amazing, I love you, I'm so proud of you. What do you think she's going to be like by the time she's 15, 16? She's going to be a princess, and she's going to feel like a princess. And she's not going to accept anything less than being treated like a princess. Does that make sense, Ikhwan? So many young girls, the brothers that were non-Muslims, and even some of the brothers that were born Muslims will know this. The majority of girls that get taken advantage of on the streets is because they never got the love and the attention and the care that they had when they were at home. So they were looking for it elsewhere. And those messages get tangled up. The next thing you know, she's looking for that father figure in that roadmap. Why? All because the parents weren't saying that which was khair to that child. Does it make sense, Ikhwan? It's so important about the words that we say. They are powerful. Words are powerful. Sorry guys, I just feel passionate about this subject. When it comes to children, it's no joke. When it comes to children, it's no joke. As you're getting old, as I'm getting older anyway, and the brothers that have got children, we realize that we're losing more and more control as the day goes by. From down to technology, down to the things that are happening in schools that parents need to be aware of. Parents need to be aware of these things. If you don't have your children close to you and your children feel that they can speak to you because of how you make them feel, then they're going to be grabbed up by the streets, and they're going to be grabbed up by the system, and they're going to be grabbed up by the evil that is being taught in schools nowadays. Does that make sense, Ikhwan? Guys understand? Sure?
How can we say Abba instead of Abu?
MashaAllah, tabarakallah. Su'al al-Mumtaz. When you study Arabic, you understand that when you call somebody, right? When you call somebody, like you say, yeah, so and so, if that person's name is made up of what we call al-mudaf wal-mudafu ilayh. It's a grammar rule, all right? Possessor and possessed and possessor. Then the first word takes a fatha. For example, when the companions used to call upon the Prophet, peace be upon him, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, did they say Ya Rasulullah, or do we read in the ahadith Ya Rasulallah? أخبروني إخوان. What do we read? Ya Rasulullah or Ya Rasulallah? Huh? Khata. Come to my Arabic lessons. Again? Ya Rasulallah. Why? Because Rasul, who asked me that question? Because Rasul Allah, Muhammad is made up of what we call in Arabic mudaf or mudaf ilayh. Just like Abu Sumayya is mudaf ilayh, so Abu changes to Aba. Make sense? Sure? You want to ask you a question on it? I'm joking. Any more questions before we move on, Ikhwan? Tfaddal.
You mentioned earlier
No.
that lahu can be not a good deed or a bad deed. So how does that weigh on the scales? If you have an action that's not good or bad?
Yeah, from what I understand, if you've got an action or a statement that is neither good or is not bad, then there's not going to be nothing written. There's not going to be anything that's written against you. Again, Ikhwan, this should be taken into context that we're not being excessive in that particular thing. Because excess in anything is going to lead to, problems. And Allah knows best. Any more questions, Ikhwan? Any more questions?
Would you say it's recommended for balance between a level and walking something that is fair?
I definitely think there's a balance. We should have a balance in all aspects of our life, even in our as-salah. Okay, what time is al-adhan? بعد 15 minutes. بعد now?
Yes.
نصلي بعد 15 دقائق. طيب.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله أما بعد. So just finishing off quickly, guys, that the last point I made was how many people regret a statement once it leaves their mouth. So be cognizant, Ikhwani, with those things that you say. And sometimes the solution is just taking a couple seconds to think. Should I say this? What are the ramifications of this statement I'm going to make? What will be the ramifications of the statement I'm going to make? And if you think to yourself that there's going to be more harm than benefit in telling your wife that her cooking don't taste nice, then don't say it. Alright? Even sometimes when you're joking. And it's for this reason that the Arabs, they say, إِن كَانَ الْكَلَامُ مِنْ فِضَّةٍ فَالسُّكُوتُ مِنْ ذَهَبٍ إِن كَانَ الْكَلَامُ مِنْ فِضَّةٍ فَالسُّكُوتُ مِنْ ذَهَبٍ. It's for this reason that the Arabs say that if speech is from silver, then surely silence is from gold. You guys heard that statement before? If speech is from silver, then silence is from gold, meaning that there is a lot of benefit that can be derived from being silent. وكذلك إخواني وأخواتي في الله السكوت. When I say السكوت, it means remaining silent. السكوت means remaining silent. السكوت فضيلة حين يكون وسيلة للإمساك عن الخوض في أعراض الناس وشؤونهم بالباطل. Excellent point. That remaining silent is a virtue such that it's a means for somebody to withhold delving into people's honor. If somebody's silent, especially as it relates to people's honor, then you're going to save yourself from al-ghiba, al-namima, backbiting, tail carrying, and anything else that's displeasing to Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala. Because sometimes remaining silent is wajib, as we mentioned. Sometimes remaining silent is wajib. It's praiseworthy and it's wajib. It's wajib to remain silent as it relates to backbiting, right? And al-ghiba wa namima. And al-ghiba, as the Prophet ﷺ defined it when he asked his companions, أَتَدْرُونَ مَا الْغِيبَ أو كما قال قالوا الله ورسوله أعلم صلى الله عليه وسلم فقال الغيبة ذكرك أخاك بما يكره. The Prophet ﷺ, he described or defined al-ghiba as mentioning about your brother that which is not true. So the companion said, but O Messenger of Allah, what about if what we mention about our brother is really true? He said, if it's true, then you've backbitten him. Look at that. If it's true, you've backbitten him. And if it's not true, then you have slandered him. So as it relates to remaining silent, there are some times when silent is wajib, praiseworthy and wajib. And then, because we've literally got 11 minutes left, let me quickly get through this, inshallah ta'ala. And then there's sometimes where remaining silent can be madhmoom. There's sometimes when remaining silent can be madhmoom. Kayf? How is it possible that remaining silent is madhmoom when the Prophet ﷺ قال من كان يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر فليقل خير أو ليصمت. So how is it possible that if I remain silent that it's going to be madhmoom? Excellent. Not only being accused, but any truth that you have to speak, whether it's against yourself, whether it's against your closest boy, or against whoever. Remaining silent in the face of batil is something that is displeasing to Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala. Tafaddal ya Aba Sumayya.
So if in the Hadith it mentions munkar, if you were like being listening. So he should change his speech by his tongue. If he can't change it by his hands, it's another.
But this, we're saying here, when is remaining silent sinful?
Wouldn't that be the situation?
But where would this person remain silent?
Like I said, if you see something and you can't change it with munkar, you can't change it with your hands, but you can change it with your speech.
But he's not remaining silent though. He's talking. Whomsoever among you sees an evil, then let him change it with his hand. If he's unable to do so, then let him change it with his speech. So he's not remaining silent.
You said when not remaining somewhat silent.
No, when remaining silent is sinful.
Yeah. So in that situation, if you can't change something by your hands, but you could change it by your speech, if you remain silent, would it not be sinful?
Hey, wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. How are you? What's your name? Muhammad. I know you. Where did we meet? When was this? Last week? Who's your brother? Who's your father? Ah, which one? Where's your brother? Oh, of course I know you. Yes, mashallah. So sorry. I've had a busy week. I've been stressed out. Last week was stressful. Abu Sumayya, I really want to understand what you're saying.
Okay, you said a situation where if you remain silent,
if you're silent,
it can be simple.
Yes.
So the hadith says that if you see something, a munkar, change it with your hand.
Yes.
If you can't, then change it with your tongue.
Okay.
Okay. Now, isn't that if you in that situation, I can't change it with my hand, but I could change it with my tongue. Would that not be simple for everyone?
Oh yeah. I'm with you now. I'm with you. I thought you were saying because if you continue reading the hadith, it says فَإِنْ لَمْ تَسْتَطِعْ they hate it with your heart. وَذَلِكَ أَضْعَفُ Al-Iman or kama qala Nabi alayhi salam. So again, it depends on somebody's situation. It could be that he can't speak out for whatever reason, so he remains silent. But the general consensus is that if somebody is able to speak out against an evil and they don't, then